And welcome. It's a Sunday. It might as well be a weekday with the amount of cars and traffic. Is that what happens when you get in your 50s? You basically complain about everything. So I'm having a sandwich and a cup of tea. Cleaned up a board, set the board up. Start the game. Last game I had somebody else had given me instructions on what they wanted. So this time around, the crazy thing about Rapid Fire Reloaded is a good wee game if you're going to the local club. But it's also a great game for solo. I don't know what it is. I think it may be because it's you're second guessing yourself in your turns. Yeah, it's definitely finished. So, the new Abbey zone, don't know if you can, probably can't see it as well because of the way the camera is positioned. New Abbey. Looks great, had a lot of problems with it. I just taught myself that just because Gulk has worked before, it's not the best to use for making models. It's waterproof, and that waterproof is it's not allowing the paints to stick, not even the masonry paint, so just don't use it the next time. Right, so let's just, we know what we're doing. It's basically the push on Carpiuet airfield. Now I've heard it said Carpiuet airfield. It must be the French pronunciation of it. Okay, so what really happened? 7:45, 7th of June 1944, the Canadian 9th Infantry Brigade resumed their push inland from Juno Beach. The Stuart tanks of the Sherbrooke Fusiliers led the way, followed by C Company of the North Nova Scotia Highlanders. The other three companies of Highlanders followed, riding on the Sherbrooke Fusiliers Shermans. Initial progress was good, and by 11:50 Baron had been reached. No, is that Baron? No, that's Baron. God's sake, I'm starting to second guess myself. Baron had been reached, and by 1 o'clock C Company had entered Uthie, this town here. Most of the tank riding infantry dismounted between the Baron and Uthie and continued their advance on foot. By now the Canadian advance had extended beyond the range of the supporting artillery. Unknown to the Canadians, they had run straight into the elements of the newly arrived 12th Hitlerjugend SS Panzer Division. Their advance crossed the path of well-concealed Panzer IV of the 6th and 7th companies of SS Panzer Regiment 12. These units maintained superb fire discipline and allowed the Canadians to pass. When the Shermans passed Uthie, so it'll be just there, they were engaged in counterattack by Panzer IVs of the 5th Company Artillery and SS Panzer Grenadiers from the 3rd Battalion. The other German units broke cover and joined the battle. The Canadian infantry tried to reach Uthie but were overrun, as were their colleagues in C Company that had occupied the village. The Sherbrooke Fusiliers commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Gordon, requested help from the rest of the 2nd Canadian Armoured Brigade, but none was forthcoming. They withdrew to their starting position. It was a costly day for both sides. The Sherbrooke Fusiliers lost 21 tanks and the North Nova Scotia Highlanders sustained 242 casualties. The Germans lost 9 Panzer IVs and suffered 300 casualties. Tell you what, that wasn't just a defeat, that was a rout. I mean, they take out 21 tanks of the Allied and 242 Canadian soldiers. The Germans lost 9 Panthers, or Panzers, Panzer IVs, and suffered 300 casualties. Yeah, alright, lost more men, but 21 tanks to 9. And I really, I started hearing for a while a lot of revisionists of history. They were blatantly making stuff up that, you know, the German technology wasn't as good as people said, the commanders weren't as good as they said. I mean, just look at the stats. I mean, see, the worst thing about it is that German contingent of the Hitler Jugend, at this stage of the war in 44, there would have been old men and young boys. You would have had some regulars, but I would tell you now, I would say probably 50% of troops were bad troops. So yeah, although the Germans were unable to capitalise on their victory and press on the coast, onto the coast, it was to be another month before the Allies would recapture this area. The inexperienced Canadians, on the other hand, had performed badly. Tank infantry cooperation left a lot to be desired. The other 2 infantry battalions, the 9th Brigade, were not committed to the battle in support of their comrades, and most of the tanks of the 2nd Armoured Brigade ended the day without firing a shot. Right, so the game. This represents the final stages of the advance to capture Carpiuet airfield on D-Day +1. It is played on a 6x4 table. There is no limit to the number of moves. All elements cannot move a maximum of 12 inches on the first move. They enter the table. German forces, elements of the SS Panzergrenadier Regiment 25th and the SS Panzer Regiment 12 with limited artillery support. Their forces are in 2 combined arms groups for morale purposes. They're based here and here. Canadian forces, the North Nova Scotia Highlanders and Sherbrooke Fusiliers. The forces are in 2 combined armed groups for morale purposes. A Typhoon is available each move from move 4. Just remember to bring me little. It's not a Typhoon, it's a Spitfire. I'll put a bit of blue tack on it. I'll put a weight on it, but the way I put the stick on, I messed up. It overbalanced it so it falls forward. I'll fix it, but I don't want to fix it now. Fix it at a later date. A Typhoon, right, okay. German deployment, the battle group, HQ and OP team are in the Abbey. So the battle group and commanders. Naval buffers for my artillery. Are they on board or off board? Off table. Now the problem is I always put them on table because for some reason as I get older I ain't remembering. The last thing I'm thinking about is guns firing off table. I am forever doing this. I am stupid. God's sake. Right, so them guns are off table. If I keep on so I can see the bloody things. CO plus 2 figure observer team. Right, and then we have the Northern Group, SS Panzergrenadier Regiment 25th and the SS Panzer Regiment 12th. Morale value 23 figures including 4 armoured fighting vehicles. And they're elite troops. Oh right, both Germans are elite. Okay, maybe I was wrong about the the old boys and the young men fighting, but maybe in this battle they didn't, but I'll tell you now, the majority of the battles near the end of the war were all brought in to fight for the fatherland before its demise, and they were old and young. But anyway, so we have the 14th AA company, which is 3 figures, 20mm AA and a Fiat tow. Now if I remember correctly, the best thing to do is sod that whole group and bring in a 20mm SDK 222. That's going to be the autocannon. They can start anywhere within this area. This is going to be a lot of men packed together. And then we have the 15th Iraqi company, which is 8 figures, 2 Panzerfäuste, 2 Schwimmwagons. Tell you what, with a lot of models on the board, I'm basically digging in there, I would say about 60-70% of all my models. So they're going to be the Schwimmwagons. So we have a 2 Panzerfäuste and 2 men beside them. So let's find Panzerfäustes. Is it Panzerschrecks or Panzerfäuste? Panzerfäuste are 1 shot. Panzerschreck are 3. We have the 6th company, which is SS Panzer Regiment 12th. 2 Panzer 4, 75 mils. So the good thing is I get to use my newly built units, which I'm happy about because they came out well. And the Panzer 4's late war, so they've got the full armour. And there's four of these beauties. So 1, yep, so it's a 6th company and a 7th company. Both Panzer 4 full armour. So that's the northern group sorted. So the southern group is, I need to get myself some more Cougar wagons. I thought I had enough. 12th Heavy Company. 3 figures, 81mm motor and a heavy car. So we have, I think they're stars, I don't know what they are. They're similar to a star. They're not Opel trucks, are they? No, definitely a star then. So we have a 3-inch motor. And then the 9th company, 10 figures, Panzerfäuste, Panzerschreck on a truck. So we have an Opel truck. We have 10 figures, but one's Panzerfäuste. Right, that's that one. And then we have 10 figures, Panzerfäuste, Panzerschreck. So Panzerschreck, Panzerfäuste, and then the unit makes up 10, or the company makes up 10 men. So I think there's 3 companies, let's see. Yep, so we have a 10th company, 3rd Battalion, 11 figures, Panzerfäuste, MMG, the exact same. So 2 units, 2 11th company, 3rd Battalion, with 11 figures, Panzerfäuste and MMG. 13th company, 3 figures, STK tow, STK 10 tow, it's basically a truck. 150mm infantry gun. Oh yeah, I'll use the 88. Where's my 88? So it's 150mm. The 88 in its place. And then we have 3 panzers. 1, 2, I should have a third. Could use the 2 stugs. Nah, so they have a, where are they positioned here? So Panzer Force, might need them handmags or after. Okay, let me make sure, because for some reason I thought there was a lot more. Yeah. So we've just got the Carpiuet and the CO. Carpiuet, what can we use for the Carpiuet? Yeah, we're going to use the staff half track, which is normally the 88 gun. What's a CO team? Where's the team? So that's a Germans. I just to make these videos brief, try and cut them down. Yes. Yeah, that's the Germans ready to go. So in the next video we'll do the Canadian setup. Yeah. Right. Thanks for watching. Bye.